Okay, this is the meeting of the Whitman Zoning Board of Appeals for Monday, March 23rd. The meeting is being recorded as required by town bylaws, and a copy of the recording of the meeting will be posted on the Whitman Hanson Community Access YouTube channel, their website. So present for the board at tonight's meeting, Mr. Winnett, Mr. Travers, Mr. Kimball, Mr. Keeman, Mr. Blas, and myself, John Goldrosen. And the first case on the agenda is case number 2 for 2026. Location of property, 74 Alden Street. Type of structure, existing, type of district A2, type of structure, existing single-family dwelling, proposed accessory dwelling unit, ADU. Owner's name, Suzanne Sotak. Trustee, owner's address, 74 Alden Street, Whitman. When did you acquire this property? December 2023. Has application been filed with town clerk? Yes. Has any previous appeal been made? No. Section of bylaw of which relief is requested, 240-6.6, accessory dwelling unit, section B, which requires site plan approval. This case was advertised in the Brockton Enterprise on March 5th and March 12th. And sitting on the case will be Mr. Winnett, Mr. Kimball, Mr. Keeman, Mr. Blas, and myself, John Goldrosen. This time we'll have the reading of the list of abutters. Mr. Blas?
Chairman, this is the list from the Board of Assessors as of 1 January 2026. Matthew and Jessica Shearer, Charlene Snow, Marcia Walsh, Town of Whitman, McHugh Family Irrevocable Trust, William and Madeline Wahlberg, Paul and Bradford Leonard, Lynn Lethbridge, Michael and Lori Mahoney.
Thank you. So for everybody's benefit, the procedure we'll follow is we'll let the applicants make a full presentation explaining what they're going to do. We'll then have, I'll read into the record a couple of letters that we have from town boards and departments. We'll then have questions and comments from members of the zoning board, and then we'll go out to the public and ask you for any comments and questions that you have. So since it's a public hearing and we're taking everyone's testimony, we ask that everybody take an oath. So would everybody raise their right hand? So you solemnly swear to the evidence you shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. So I'll turn it over to the applicant. If you could introduce your team. And again, we have an administrative assistant who prepares the minutes of the meeting, but she can't be here for this hearing. So we're totally dependent on the tape recording. So I'll ask you to give us your name, spell your name. If you have business cards, that would be great too. But just, and also like when it comes time to show something on a plan, rather than saying over here and over there, say to the left of the house, the right of the house, in front of the street, whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll leave it to the applicant. Do you want to introduce who's representing you?
Yeah, Buzz Artiano, Artiano from Buildex. We're located in Carver and Hanover, Mass. I'm here tonight with Michael Fleck, my project manager, and Max from Grady Consulting. He's the project engineer on this project.
Okay, just might as well give the full names of everybody right now, just so we got them.
Max Coppola, Coppola.
And that's from Grady. That's from Grady.
Grady.
Yeah, engineering. Okay. And Michael, what's your last name?
Fleck, Fleck.
Okay. All right. Proceed.
Yeah, thank you. And so this is Sue.
Okay.
And this is her dad, Mike Lemon. So this is daughter and Mike Lemon. And his wife is not able to join tonight, so she's gonna, I guess, listen to or read the minutes after the fact.
Okay. And
So the project here is,
So that's, your Sawtack is your last name? Okay, thank you.
yeah, and Lemon is Mike's last
Yeah.
name.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And the goal here is to build a 900 square foot, 2-bedroom accessory dwelling unit for her parents to move into at the property located at 74 Alden Street, as depicted on the plans from Grady Consulting. We've provided the board with a set of drawings of what the accessory dwelling will look like. We provided you with a site plan provided by Grady Consulting, showing the setbacks and meeting all the setback requirements. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Max Grady to talk about the particulars, and then I'll answer any questions about the accessory dwelling.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Max Capolo with Grady Consulting, here representing Buildex. So I'm going to flip the front over to the cover sheet showing vicinity around the property. So the second sheet here shows a detailed site plan showing the location and setbacks of the ADU. The ADU is proposed to be 11 feet off of the right side line and the rear side line. And there's an entry shed connected, entry/shed connected to the rear of the proposed accessory dwelling unit.
Max, I'm going to, just again, for the record, you submitted there was a plan that was originally submitted, and you submitted a revised plan tonight, last revision date, February 18th, 2026. So that's one we're all looking at.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have proposed additional parking for this accessory dwelling unit, as well as a turnaround space so that there's ease of access and exit from the property. And we've extended the driveway a little bit on the right and towards the rear. Extends almost equal to the rear of the accessory dwelling unit on the left side of the property. And we've proposed erosion control measures, silt fence around the limit of work to prevent any erosion and sedimentation to go onto the abutting properties here. The proposed accessory dwelling unit will have its own sewer connection, and it will connect to the existing dwelling's water and electric. New electric. And that is all I have for the site plan.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give your whole presentation. We'll
That's pretty much it. It's a
What-
900 square foot accessory dwelling unit. Be totally self-contained. It's been custom designed for the family, for them to live there. And we feel like it blends in nice. We feel like it's an attractive unit for the neighborhood. You won't really see it much from the street as it's behind the principal structure. And if you look on the main sheets here, you can see there are really no direct abutters in the rear. This is a wide open space.
is that the cemetery in the rear?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's nobody there that's gonna be disturbed by that. And, I like that one, huh?
What-
And then the relatives of the Lemon on this property here,
It's irrelevant.
I'm explaining the site plan.
Yeah. Go ahead. Well,
And so they're aware of what's going on in the property. And the reason I was bringing that up is there's an existing shed here, and that shed's gonna be relocated to this property. And that's why I was bringing that up.
okay. Can you just kind of walk us through what's in the accessory dwelling unit? I mean, is it one story or what?
It
What's
is.
on?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of decorative. What's above? Is
Yeah,
it
so
like
that's
a
a-
cathedral ceiling or?
Yeah, that's a cathedral ceiling.
Okay.
If you turn to, I'm sorry, I gave up on it. So those are clear story windows and they're open to the kitchen. That's a cathedral ceiling in the kitchen area, just to give it some more volume. It's one of our newer plans. And then if you turn to page A2, that is the full floor plan. So there are 2 bedrooms, opposite the driveway, and then you have the kitchen living room, and then you have a laundry with a half bath. And then in the rear of the structure is a small shed that's attached to the building, and then access to the basement, which is a oversized crawl space, which is at 6'7". And that is for Mr. Lemon to store a snow blower and other lawn equipment to maintain his yard. So that's just got a asphalt floor inside there. It's not a finished area, it's just a shed.
And what's the access to the basement?
There's a door there inside the shed to go down into the basement. So he's out of the weather when he goes down there for storage.
Okay. And, from the picture on the front page here, it almost looks like there's a garage, but that's not the
No,
case.
that's just the storage area in the rear here. If you look on the
Okay.
plan, it's located in the back of the structure. It's, I put my glasses on. It's 9 feet deep by the width of the building, which is 27.2.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me, 26, yeah, 26.5, yeah.
26 or 27?
27.5.
It says
No.
27.5.
Yeah, but it's set in a foot from the edge. The building's 27.5. The shed is set in 1 foot, just to break it up.
Gotcha.
So again,
And the basement is unfinished?
it is unfinished and it's below what they call code compliant height, so it's at 6'7". So it classifies as a crawl space, not a basement.
Okay, so it's not livable space.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so could you walk us through how you compute the building in terms of the gross floor area, which is defined in the state regulations, and we incorporated that definition in our bylaws, it's the same definition.
Yeah.
But how do you compute the gross floor area, what gets not included? And I guess, again, just for the record, walk us through what the
Sure.
floor area is of the existing house to show that it's more than 1,800 square feet.
Yeah. So again, what I'm about to say, I don't want anybody to be mad at me because a lot of people don't understand the calculation. So the calculation clearly says it's based on gross floor area, which is measured from the inside face of the outside walls. So you don't measure the outside of the building, you measure from the inside face of the outside wall. So simply stated, the building's 28 feet wide and it's 2x6 walls, it's only 27 feet wide, inside to inside. So that's how that calculation is made. Okay. I also provided you with a calculation of the existing structure here, showing the gross floor area, which I've handed out to everyone. And this is an accurate plan, as built, if you will, produced by a software called Matterport, where we take a 3D scan of the inside of the structure. It's accurate to within ½ an inch, and then this drawing is produced from that. Okay. And that's calculating the existing gross floor area of the existing structure.
Okay. Which is,
2246.
okay.
Okay.
So again, just to go over it for the board,
Yeah.
an ADU can be up to 900 square feet, but not more than 50% of a house. So if the house is under 1,800 square feet, that limits what you could have the ADU.
Be careful though. It's
Yeah.
gross floor area.
Gross floor area.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is this the existing house?
Yes.
Oh,
This is the existing house. This is the proposed ADU.
Okay.
So minus the shed in the back, which is not count towards the gross floor area of the ADU. This ADU is at 900 gross floor area.
Yeah, because you're allowed to exclude, what are you allowed to exclude from the
So,
gross floor area?
Porches, decks, farmers' porches, non-code compliant basement height, so crawl
Okay.
space, unheated structures, mud rooms, sunrooms, there's a few things. But generally, it's conditioned area that's meant to live in.
Okay. So does the entry shed count in gross floor
It
area?
does not, because
Okay.
it's unheated.
Okay. So what is the gross floor area, 900 square feet? Is
It's right at 900.
Right at 900?
Yeah.
Okay. I assume you've kind of designed these for other towns.
Yeah, and that's why if you look at the plan, it's an odd measurement. It's 27, 0.5 feet to get that exact, get So we build them to the inch to get the 900. Sometimes they're 899. You know,
Okay.
we want to maximize every square foot.
Yeah.
of the thing.
Okay, let me, if that's all that you have, then let me,
I do. Yeah.
okay, I'm going to read letters into the record and then we'll go to questions from the board. From Whitman Fire Rescue and Emergency Services, dear members of the Zoning Board of Appeals. At this time, Whitman Fire Rescue and Emergency Services has no objection to this proposal, provided all applicable fire and building codes are met. This includes 760 CMR 71, which regulates the size of an ADU cannot be larger in gross floor area than half the gross floor area of the principal dwelling, or 900 square feet, whichever is smaller. Records indicate the primary dwelling is 1744 square feet, which would limit the ADU to 872 square feet unless accepted by this board. Sincerely, Nicholas Grasso, Deputy Chief. Mr. Grasso's here. Are you okay with how they?
Yeah, I'm okay with the 900. I got that off Whitman GIS, but
Okay.
the square footage is a little bit different on this, but
Yeah.
you're okay with that.
Okay. And the letter from the Board of Health. The Whitman Board of Health gives conditional approval to the petitioner Suzanne M. Sotak, trustee, for site plan approval for the construction of an accessory dwelling unit in a detached structure. DPW records show the existing home is connected to town water and sewer. To receive final approval, the detached structure with proposed ADU must also be connected to town water and sewer. Sincerely, Daniel Kelly, Health Agent, Whitman Board of Health. So rather than wait to get back to that, you would, Mr. Coppola, I think you said that there would be a separate sewer connection.
Correct.
Is that, I'm just wondering if that, and Mr. Ewell, the building inspector's here, is that allowed? I mean, they have, would the DPW allow a separate tie-in?
Can I just give a
Yeah.
clarifying?
Yeah.
So when we say separate, it would be connecting to inside the house to.
Oh, okay.
Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no problem with that then.
Yeah.
All right.
The drawing shows a separate line.
Agreed. But so unfortunately, every town has different rules. I was speaking to a person this morning, and they are adamant that we have to go to the street, right? So the easiest path is the least expensive path, the path we're going to take. So in this case, we do have enough, the invert of the sewer inside the house is low enough that we can just come in the basement and connect.
Is that, where is that shown? I
And
see the water line.
The sewer.
Oh, the other one's, the dotted line is the sewer line?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's go to,
We have, just not to interrupt.
Yep.
We have spoken to the sewer and water department. They're obviously, we need to apply.
Yeah.
But there's no issues.
okay. All right, let me go to questions from members of the board and Mr. Winnett.
So thank you for clarifying the square footage, because it did get a little confusing. I had a little higher than 900, so that helped for sure. I do want to say it's a slick little building for sure.
Thank you.
And I think it'll look nice in the neighborhood. The electric is underground.
So we'll have to, the pole is across the street, so we're going to go overhead to the existing structure with another meter socket and then go underground to the back. You know, or maybe upgrade that to a 2-meter system, have a single overhead and go underground. But either way, we're going underground. Once
Between
we-
the two buildings.
Correct.
I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Travers, even though you're not sitting on the case, you can
I
ask
just
any
had a question
questions.
on the water. The water is gonna come from inside the existing house?
So we couldn't get a straight answer from the water department, so we're either, hopefully, we can do that, as it will be least expensive, but sometimes they do require us to go to the street. So whatever, I don't want to tell you something wrong.
Yeah, I was just thinking about pressure. There might not be enough pressure.
Well, that's part of that dance that we need to do as well.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Kimball?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions. This is the first ADU that we're doing, so bear with us.
Yeah, no problem.
You're the guinea pigs.
But
They're the guinea pigs, so we are, depending on how you look at it.
is there any reason why we got so close to the back line? It looks like we got enough space between the front of the building and the parking space that we've got to want to keep to the back line.
Yeah, that's the customer's preference. They're trying to maximize the space between the buildings to just give a little air and light.
Now, I understand the residents behind it aren't too concerned about it, but if there was another house behind it, then it could be potentially a problem, so that's why we'd like to keep away from the side, like your sidelines on the 11-foot on the right-hand side and the 19-foot on the left-hand side. It's a non-conforming, pre-existing lot. But, the other thing that concerns me is the shed out back. When I think of
The existing shed or the new shed?
the new shed,
Okay.
I think of a 900 square foot unit. The facility should be 900 square feet. If I did something like this, I could put a 400 square foot shed on the back of it. It's not heated, and that is not the intent as far as I'm concerned of the ADU. It's above and beyond the ADU. It's all my comments.
Okay.
Can I address that?
Yes, please do.
So, under the state law, and we've permitted a few of them, these can get quite big. We have some with 2-car attached garages, sunrooms, sun porches, farmers porches, and they can get quite large.
To me, that's not the intent of the ADU.
I respect your opinion.
Thank you.
Mr. Keeman?
I have no questions.
Okay. Mr. Claus?
Just a couple things. And maybe this might be for the building commissioner. The accessory, don't the accessory buildings have to be tied utilities into the main building and not have their own meters and basically feed off of the existing meters and the existing supply of the primary structure?
I believe they have the right to separate if they want.
Yeah, that was addressed in the state regulations because there were some towns that wanted to require the same meters, some towns that wanted to require separate meters. And I think the state was basically kind of said you can't require separate meters. So
It's good either way?
yeah, I think it's okay.
All right, that was just and then, any idea what the percentage of the lot, percentage-wise, that's, I guess I'll call it impervious now?
Matt,
It seems to be quite significant.
it's right at the limit.
Yep, so we calculated the required max percentage by structure, and we took everything that could be used by structure. I didn't see a requirement for impervious coverage maximums, but I did see a structure lot maximum. We actually had to remove a ramp to make sure that we were underneath this 25 maximum structure coverage there. We're at 24.
Yeah, it's on page 2 of 2 in the upper right-hand corner of the site plan. It says zoning data.
Mm-hmm. So the two structures together represent 24.5% of the lot size?
Yep.
And-
That's including the steps and the bulkhead and the deck.
Right, and then once we add the new paved surface, where does that bring us to? Because we're at what, how wide is the driveway?
The driveway is, I believe, 12 feet wide. 5 feet.
12 feet wide and what, 104, 139 feet long?
Yeah.
And then we have the extra jut out.
Well,
I think isn't there a bylaw?
yeah,
that-
well, that's what I'm
that
looking at.
covers the amount of.
Yeah, Mr. Yule can correct me, but table of dimensional and density regulations at 6.5 has a maximum percentage of lot cover by structure. It doesn't factor in all the pavement. And am I correct with that there's no separate requirement? That,
I'm not 100%
Impervious.
sure about that, but I
Yeah.
don't recall seeing anything
yeah,
about it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we looked through and we saw only a structure max coverage percentage, so we went and were conservative about what was considered a structure, just to make sure we were under that. We weren't sure if that's considered like a ramp structure, so we wanted to make sure.
That's the building commissioner. And I don't believe it is, but I will make a comment. This is very nice. It's lovely. It's a second primary structure. You can call it an ADU. Technically, it's a second primary structure. It's beautiful, and I'll bet it wasn't cheap. That's all, Mr.
Okay. I mean, well, it's totally irrelevant to our decision, but I'm just curious how much in rough numbers it costs to, where you're putting in a foundation and a
Yeah,
base.
so generally speaking, so first of all of our pricing is on our website.
Okay.
So you can look at it. Those are the starting prices. But generally, this unit ranges from $425 to $475.
Including the
Everything.
in the foundation, the
Yeah,
basement.
foundation, site work, survey, landscaping,
$4.75 a square foot.
$475,000.
Yeah, not cheap.
And generally, these houses are in the $500 to $600 a square foot range.
And how finished are they inside?
Very.
Yeah.
Porch countertops, cathedral ceiling beams.
Are they modular units?
No,
Or you
these are
construct them
single.
on site?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with modular. It's just not what I build.
Okay.
There's a lot of limitations when you get to modular because you're putting two things together that, you're limited. Like with me, I can make it exactly the way I want it.
Okay.
And this is the kind of product that we build.
Anything else?
No,
Okay. My main concern is with the parking and how this flow is going to work because, right now it's for members of the family, and I assume, Sartak, you live in the main house? Okay. So this is all going to be family, but it's not required to be. That's what the way the ADU, under our we had a previous in-law apartment bylaw, which required, the primary owner to be resident on the site and the occupants of the second unit to be family members. But that's not the case now. So, this could ultimately be rented to a non-family member. For that matter, when you sell the house with Sartak, a new owner could be an absentee owner, and these could be two rental units. So I'm concerned with with making sure that the people in the rear unit can get their cars out to the street. So are there going to be, you've got the two parking spaces for the rear, which, by the way, under the bylaw, only one's required. So even if they're head to toe, that's fine. I'm glad you're providing that extra space, but where will the people in the front house park? Is there room there for two parking spaces in that bump out
Yes.
behind the house?
It's sized so that you can fit two cars in there, so if one is vacant, you can use it as a turnaround too, so you're not backing out into the street as well.
But otherwise, assuming we allow two park cars for the main house, they could park in that bump out, and the people at the back unit, I'll call it the ADU, could back out to the street or back in from the street. Because I think I don't feel we have a basis to regulate it, but I think it's important that you have designed it in a way that when ultimately it's a two-family house, that there isn't a conflict. We've run into this with other multifamily houses where we've said you got to provide a way for each unit to have access to the street. Okay, that was my main concern. Otherwise, again, having it closer to the rear property line. First, again, under the bylaw, under the state interpretation of the statute, which I don't agree with, but it's a state interpretation. An ADU counts as an accessory structure, so even though it's occupied, it can be as close as 10 feet from a property line. So they have the right to do it, and at least in this case, where the cemetery's behind, I think it's just as well to do it that way. in another case, I'd agree, we'd want to talk to the applicants and say there might be a reason to try to move it off the property line for the sake of abutters. So that's all, that was really the only question I had. That being said, we'll go out to members of the public. Anybody here wishes to speak on this case? Are there any abutters here? Yeah, I'd be interested, could you give us your name and address, even if it's pro or con, I just, be interested.
My son's a trustee,
Okay,
so I don't know if it counts, but,
no, that's fine.
okay.
So who are you?
But I'm not, I'm here just out of curiosity.
Yeah,
It's just support.
so which abutter are you represent, I mean,
All 63 Alden Street.
okay. Which is across the street then?
Yes.
Okay,
I read the letter and I thought,
okay, all right.
I
And,
had a minute.
all right,
In support.
okay. All right, any more questions from the board? I want to check just one thing about, site plan approval is basically it. I know we had a question when we drafted the bylaw about, what's the size of this lot? The square footage of the lot?
150 by 58?
It's 9,500.
All right, so it's a non-conforming lot, and
Oh, is it making it any more non-conforming is the question. So that's a finding we have to make too.
we wrestled with this in drafting the bylaw, and the state kind of punted on this one about whether we had to make a finding or,
Yeah, I reread it again.
Yeah, and I think what happened was we said, well, if you put an addition on, we were comparing it to adding to a 1 or 2 family house and the way the courts have come down. And we said, if you put in, if you're just increasing the amount of space, that would be a finding. If you're putting in, they're not actually doing anything in terms of construction that would encroach on a setback as the state has interpreted the setback rules. So they're okay on that. So the only thing is we're sort of increasing the usage of a non-conforming lot.
But I think the bylaw had only is if they're increasing this original structure. It doesn't refer to
Yeah, let me just,
a secondary unit.
I'm just seeing whether we need to make a finding.
Actually, I don't think we do.
Okay, let me see. Give me a minute to read through this. I think you're right. I think we have, if it increases the nonconformity of if you put an addition onto a dwelling and it increases the nonconformity, then we consider it an increase of the nonconformity and have a determination of finding. But we didn't speak to having it in a separate building, which is probably an oversight on our part. But nonetheless, okay, I don't think it needs to find in. I think it just needs the site plan approval. Any further discussion from the board? Otherwise, I'll close the hearing. Anything else from the public? Building inspector?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm going to close the hearing and go into deliberation and entertain any motion.
Chairman, if this application meets all intent and guidelines of the state ADU regulations and our town bylaws, so I will move to approve the petition.
For site plan approval.
Site plan approval.
Okay, motion by Mr. Blas. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Winnett. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 5 in favor. That's Mr. Winnett, Mr. Kimball, Mr. Keeman, Mr. Blas, and myself, John Goldrosen. It's approved.
Thank you.
Good luck with it.
Yeah. And once it's finished, we'll be having a home tour if you'd like to come by and visit.
My wish, thank
So
you.
you can see what it's about.
Oh.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Take care. Thank you too.
Either of you want, I mean, we've got extra copies. Either of you wants, yeah,
I need to grab that one from up there.
yeah.
I don't know what to say. 475. 100,000 for a.
Yeah. Well, I think I've heard even bare bones, you're talking 300, just putting in the foundation.
If you look on their website, it starts at like $75,000, I think. It's like a glorified Reed's Ferry shed to start.
But it's essentially two-family, yeah. Second house in the lot.
Yes.
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, thank you.
That was the first ADU you had?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yep,
Under the new
Yeah,
state
yeah.
law.
yeah.
I got like 3 coming up.
I know there've been,
Not surprised.
Jim can tell you there've been inquiries, but nobody's actually
But
filed.
would you, really,
No.
Jesus.
Was another guy in today gave an application for once.
I mean, I thought about taking my Reed's Ferry shed.
Attached, it's gonna be an attached.
What is it, 12? It's like what? A little too small. If I get thrown out of the house, I know what I'm doing.
I got like a 12 by 16 garage, you know, it's like Abington first.
You pass these down, sure. I'll look at it for just 1 second and pass it down. Oh, no, it's good.
Yeah.
You can see about his list stick. Okay, I'm going to call the next hearing to order. This is case number 3, location of property 127 Warren Avenue, type of district residence A2, type of structure existing daycare, proposed field house gym. Owner's name OFLC Whitman Real Estate LLC. Owner's address 515 Northborough Road, Marlborough, Mass. When did you acquire this property? February 13th, 2025. Has application been filed with town clerk? Yes. Has any previous appeal been made? No. Section of bylaw of which relief is requested, section 240-6.2A and section 240-7.2. Reason for asking relief, applicant wishes to construct 41-foot by 28-foot field house gym area within the rear yard presently used as outside play area. The field house will be located 5 feet off the rear and side property lines. This allows for a greater access distance off the handicap ramp to the rear building, also allowing for additional play area. This case was advertised in the Brockton Enterprise on March 5th and March 12th. Sitting on the case will be Mr. Travers, Mr. Kimball, Mr. Keeman, Mr. Blas, and myself, John Goldrosen. This time we'll have the reading of the list of abutters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the list of abutters as of January 1st, 2026 with the Assessor's Office. Alta Realty Company, LLC, Susan Ashi, Charles Devaney, Jennifer and Thomas Golly, Robert Genero, Kenneth and Catherine Lytle, Janet McPhillamy, Milton and Flavia Primo, Jason and Jennifer Pryor, Susan and Alan Ramcharan, Dolores Sansoni, Glenn and Leah Cisco, Carrie E. Sullivan.
Okay, so the procedure we follow is we let the applicant make their presentation. I'll then read into the record letters from town boards and departments and have comments from any town department heads that are here. We'll have questions and comments from members of the zoning board and then go out to the public for your questions and comments. So since it's a proceeding and we're taking people's testimony, we ask that everybody raise their right hand and take an oath to participate in this. You solemnly swear to the evidence you shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Garvey, who's representing the applicant?
Yes, thank you. Kyle Garvey representing OFLC Whitman LLC for property located at 127 Warren Ave. The owner of the building is Dan Sweeney, who is here tonight, and who also owns the property and runs the daycare and has 7 others similar to this.
And Mr. Sweeney, just for the record, for the spelling, Sweeny. Thank you. Go ahead, Carl.
The present owner purchased this property in February of 25, which is roughly a year ago, from John and Sally Welch, who purchased the property originally from the town in 1981 and operated Mary Deb Daycare facility for over 30 years. The present building has classrooms on the first, second, and within the basement area. The first and second floors have an occupancy of roughly 88 children plus teachers. The basement has another area for 44. The property contains 25,233 square feet. In front of the building is a paved area for parking for the teachers. There's a circular drop-off area in front and 3 other spots around that. The westerly side of the building is also paved, which has access to dumpster area. The rear of the property contains a pool, a play area, which has an existing rubber surface on there. Has an access concrete handicap ramp going into the basement of the building, which is the handicap entrance. Fire escapes along the back. The applicant proposes the construction of a 28 by 41 foot field house. In the summer, it would be used for summer programs and other times during the year, like last winter, when we had, this winter I should say, all the snow and stuff. There would be use of it at that time. I do have some diagrams that show roughly what the building is going to.
Thank you.
We'd like to see that.
Let's do.
Oh, you do? Oh, it's on there,
Didn't mean to leave you out. No, sorry.
The proposed building, like I say, is 28 by 41, roughly 20 feet in height. The building itself will be set 5 feet from the rear and from the northerly property line and the westerly property line. And if you look at the drawing, there's no access on either the northerly side or the westerly side. The front of the building will have an access with an overhead door, and the sides facing the playground will have an access door as well as 2 overhead doors, which can be opened up in the summer. We have, which I've shown, didn't come out on the original sheets, but I showed some arborvitae plantings on both the westerly and northerly side abutting those properties. The reason we're asking for the variance is a fairly new handicap ramp, which is the only access into the basement of the building. And by pushing it forward and over 5, we're cutting that area off and cutting access off, getting into this playground area from this existing paved area. Yeah, there is fencing around the whole property, presently a chain link fence around all the sides of the property. Pretty straightforward, just a minor revision over here. The sewer to the building presently was connected, it connects to the street, runs around behind the present building. And at one time there were cesspools and so forth out back for the old school, which was the Gurney School. But they rerouted that into the town system, and we're going to be connecting into the water and sewer from that area. So Dan and myself can answer any other questions.
All right, let me start with reading the letters into the record. From Whitman Fire Rescue and Emergency Services. At this time, Whitman Fire Rescue and Emergency Services has no objection to this proposal, provided all applicable fire and building codes are met. Sincerely, Nicholas Grasso, Deputy Chief. Since Mr. Grasso's here, I guess I'll ask you, what's required for a building like this in terms of sprinklers or?
Sprinklers, no, but I'm going to require a full fire alarm system that gets tied into the main building's fire alarm panels, smoke detectors, strobe lights, horns, pull stations. Since it is learning with a bunch of kids in there, what are you guys using for heat?
That'll probably be mini splits.
Mini splits? Okay, no gas, oil, or anything like that. Okay. And when it comes to the setbacks, I'm not a fan of the 5 feet, just because if there's ever any type of emergency on either side of that, it's just going to be difficult for us to get in there. Just say kid falls or anything type of fire, try and get anything going around the left side or the rear, it's going to be very difficult. So I prefer it being the 10 foot on the bylaw there.
Okay. All right.
The only thing it does now, it cuts off access into getting in this way, because you're moving the building 5 feet and 5 feet, that now you can't get to that side of the building. So
How would you not? Well, we can discuss. We can discuss this further. Let me read the letters into the record. I want to further understand the relation to the ramp and so forth. From the Board of Health, the Whitman Board of Health has no objection to the petition of OLFC Whitman RE LLC for a variance from Section 240-6.2A and site plan approval under Section 240-7.2 for the construction of a fieldhouse gym as an accessory structure for the existing daycare preschool facility for property located at 127 Warren Avenue. DPW billing records indicate this property is connected to municipal sewer and water. Sincerely, Daniel Kelly, Health Agent, Whitman Board of Health. Okay, let me go to questions from the board. And Mr. Winnett, though you're not sitting on the case, you can ask any questions you might have.
If I may, just
Yes,
before
go-
you guys do this, we do have an interior. This is not designed, but this is just like essentially what the inside is. Gonna
Okay, that'd be helpful, sure.
look like.
Yeah.
If you guys can share one.
But you answered my first question.
Oh, all right.
I was going to ask what activities were going to be on,
Yeah, so we serve kids aged about 3 or 4 months up through 7, 8 years old, and at most of our locations we have space for them to run around when they can't get outside. And this is the only one that we have that they cannot. And so this is, we're trying to answer our customers' request to have space for their kids when the weather is not cooperating.
And how many children are you anticipating to be in this space?
Maximum of 26, I believe.
And then, do you know what's the distance from number 137 to the proposed field house? What's that distance? From this residence?
No, from here to here?
Yeah.
Oh, 60 feet. Easily, yeah, I mean, they have a garage.
I'm just thinking, when kids are in a play area like this, they're loud. They're having fun, they're laughing, and there's gonna be a disturbance to the people that live right next door that may wanna sit out in their backyard and have a barbecue or whatever.
Well, currently the play area is all outside.
It's all outside anyway.
So this I'm hoping, would actually decrease sound because two of the walls that we're proposing won't have any openings, no windows, no opening doors or anything. So I'm hoping that so our play area for the kids that are there, so this is a pool that's currently there right now. And the kids are all back here in the, when the weather's good. So I'm hoping this helps block sound, if anything.
Okay, fair enough. And then the other question was regarding the 5-foot setback, is there any reason that you can't make the building smaller?
We can. We have we need 26 to have a full classroom size out there when we have kids out there. And building code requires 35 square feet per child. So when you do that math plus the teaching staff that have to be there with them, it's right on the line.
Mr. Travis?
I share the concerns of the setback. It's a residential area. We'll be 5 feet from these people in the back and on the side. Could the building be twisted the other way? I know that it shows it will walk the concrete ramp. Could it be turned this way and over to the pool area so that the long side of the proposed building is up against
Along the back property line.
Be close, I mean, might need a variance from the 10-foot setback required from pools.
Yeah.
I don't know, I live in a residential area and we've had problems with people in my neighborhood building things almost on the lot line. And I don't agree with it. The zoning bylaws there is 10 feet for that reason. I like to protect the neighbors.
I could agree with you, but we do have some plantings in here. Actually, keeping it 10 feet off the property allows kids to be running around it, because 5 extra, they'd be making noise
It
running
allows
around it.
room for a firefighter to throw a ground ladder.
Pardon me? I'm
It
sorry.
allows room for a firefighter to throw a ground ladder, should that building be on fire, which you couldn't do in a 5-foot space. That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Kimball?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. My concern too is if you move a building 5 feet forward, how much space are you gonna have between the ramp and the building? Right now,
Probably around 6 feet. 5 feet? No, 5 feet. I think it's 10 feet now.
it's 10 feet, so
Yeah.
it's 5 feet.
Yeah.
Because it looks like the concrete ramp, which is ADA compliant, is about twice the space in between the building and the,
Yeah, it is. It's,
so it's twice the
I mean,
space.
it's a brand new ramp though.
No, I understand that. So my question is, if I move the building, I'm still gonna have the same space for ADA that I get down the ramp, is I get between the ramp and the building.
I don't think we would have any objections to moving it further if that's what the board wants to move it further this way.
Further towards towards the street, towards the
Towards
ramp.
more,
All right. And what about moving it 5 feet
Well,
in from the
that-
property line? Does that
I
cause a
think the
problem?
other one's the easiest way. I mean, moving it 5 feet. Moving it 5 feet this way, over here, still allows this access for a vehicle, a tractor, or that they maintain with, or something to that effect, where we can close it up to 5 feet. I mean, the paved area is how they operate in the back, but,
Because
So-
this is completely different than I expected. To me, this is a complete new building. I was expecting almost like a gazebo type thing. But this is a building that's, a full story, 30-foot high building. So it's not just a little gazebo type thing. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
So, Mr. Garvey, just to clarify, because you were saying move it here, there, and I don't know which. Is it feasible to have 10-foot setbacks here, to move it 5 foot closer to the street, closer to the ramp, and 5 foot over to the right, closer to the pool?
well, I think maybe the configuration of the building would have to get the amount of square footage that he needs.
Because I think we're probably all in agreement that we really have a problem reducing the setback here.
People okay with that?
Yeah, I don't think I have any objection.
Fine, we'll keep it 10. He doesn't have any
Okay.
objection.
So keep it in the
Originally,
same
when I was-
configuration, but just shift it. Okay.
Would it matter if we flipped it at 90 degrees
I'd just like to see the 10-foot setbacks.
Yeah.
On each side.
okay, so if we can get the 10, but switch it to if we
If-
orient it that way.
If we're 90 degrees, Mr. Garvey, how close would it be to the pool then?
And we can also change the,
Well, I might have to go to like 30 by 38 or something like that to get the square footage to meet the 10-foot setback.
Okay. And you might have to change where the doors are, whatever, I suppose, depending how you. Yeah. All right, why don't I continue? Mr. Kimball?
I'm all set. Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
Mr. Keeman?
I agree with the 5 foot, and I think if you spin it, and even if you have to make it shorter this way, by spinning it now, you get a little bit more room, toward the ramp to make up the difference, so you do have your square footage. I think that's a much better idea.
okay.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Blas?
Just a couple of things. Will the construction of this field house, will that increase the number of children that the daycare takes on a day-to-day basis?
No, it'll just be used as like a,
Right, but will it allow you to increase the amount of children that you, based on your increase in space, will it allow you to have more kids?
when you say allow, like, could we make, like, if it wasn't used as a gym space, could it be?
No, if you didn't have, will it, whatever your
Would you-
limit on kids is now,
So it wouldn't change it.
it would not change it, okay? And just the in-ground pool, how is that used? Do the kids swim in it?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have a lifeguard?
Yep.
Really? Oh, good, I think it's wonderful. Where was this when my kids were growing up? That's pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't have that big of an issue with the siting of the field house, but I will defer to the fire professionals, and if they feel that 5 feet setback is not sufficient, then I'll go with what they have to say. Other than that, I think it's beautiful. I do make a note that because this is a profit enterprise. It doesn't enjoy any protection that schools or churches or anything like that would normally have under zoning. So you have to go through this whole process.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So if, first, if it remains in its present configuration, but just moves so you have the 10-foot setbacks, am I correct that the wall facing 137 Warren Ave doesn't have any windows in it?
No windows.
Excuse me?
No windows.
No windows on that side, okay. And, which I think is good, I think that, because as you say, I agree that there'll be times when this could reduce the amount of noise because kids will be inside rather than outside. But in the summer, you're gonna have the doors open anyway, so it wouldn't reduce it that much. But if you have the wall there, I think that's the right place to have the wall. If you turn it 90 degrees, will that end again be windowless wall?
Whatever
face?
side would be abutting the neighbor on the,
Okay.
on the rear and the southwest.
Okay, all right,
Left side, we would.
okay. And on the site plan, there's a line about 3/4 of the way back within the field house. What does that represent, Kyle? This,
That was a tie-in, there was, just a setback, there was a bathroom in this corner, and we were just trying to make sure that we could get the sewer in there. It's not a separation of room or anything.
okay, all right, okay.
I actually took it off when I did
Okay.
the rendering.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay either way. I'm thinking rotating it 90 degrees just kind of gives you more. Oh, did we? There's currently a fence around the in-ground pool, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Two.
So there's
So
a 10.
one outer fence around essentially the yellow shaded area, and then another fence around the pool.
Can you show me on because I can't tell on this plan.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fence that goes around this whole pool area, there's a gate here, this is a fence, and then this is chain link fence.
Okay,
That runs,
yeah, right.
connects into the school, then this chain link fence comes down,
But
and
this-
connects into a gate here that you can travel back to. This area is all paved, and then there's an existing play station in here now, slide and so forth, that's sitting in here.
Okay. So the fence around the pool is the same, like
Is that?
around the white area is this lot. this
Yeah,
fence
then
here.
there's
Okay.
there's a concrete patio around the
Around
pool.
there, okay. So if you turned it sideways, Kyle, are you able to compute whether you'd have to redesign the building or whether you can get a 41-foot? If you had,
There's a little bit more, 70 square footage from the.
It may just barely fit. It
okay,
may fit.
or you may want to
I
reconfigure.
mean, in your pool bylaw, it's really 10 foot from a house, but I would assume it would be the same here, especially.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna have kids.
Children.
Is it 10 feet from the pool or 10 feet from the fence around the pool?
From the edge.
From the pool, edge of the pool.
Oh, all right, okay. And whichever way you configure it, you'll be able to change the water and sewer lines to.
Yeah.
That's, yeah,
Okay, I mean, the existing sewer ends right at the back corner of this walkway now. It goes into the building, and we're proposing a line here, so it can
Correct.
still go up here and tie into, say, the back corner of the building.
Okay. I'm thinking if you turn it 90 degrees, it may be better for the usability of the rest of your yard. You see, you want to be able to get a tractor or some equipment into the back. That probably becomes easier if you turn it sideways.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. What is the height of the building?
It's 27.
Okay. And just to clarify from the diagram, It's a single-story structure with a cathedral ceiling, a barn, it's like a barn, kind of.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there's no second
There's no
floor
second
usage. Okay. Yeah, you just have those beams there so the kids can run up and hang off and, you know, drop some ropes down and have them scamper up and down. Okay. The chain link fence, does that have slats on it? You know, is it like a vinyl?
I don't think, I don't believe so. I don't believe it. No, it doesn't have slats.
Okay, all right.
Oh, maybe. No, I'm not
No,
sure.
okay, all right. Okay, let me go out to members.
I've got one.
Yes,
one
go ahead,
question I meant
Roz.
to ask, it was important to me. This building is gonna be, you're gonna have, it appears, you're gonna have bathrooms in here. So it's gonna have water, sewer, it's gonna be electrically heated, the whole thing?
Yep.
Okay, John, as far as this is an accessory structure. Are we allowed to have bathrooms and showers or sinks and all that kind of stuff? And which makes it almost like a
ADU.
ADU.
Well, if it was a pool cabana, you would have,
Yeah.
we would have a cabana out next to their pool, would have a bathroom.
If you had a garage, sometimes people would have a bathroom
It's
in
okay
the
to
garage.
it's okay to do that.
Right?
It's okay.
Just don't get caught.
I can check in the morning.
Just don't get
I think it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. All right. I'm just making sure.
There's no showers or anything. It's just half baths.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, all right, let me go out to the public. If you want to speak in this, could you give us your name and your address? Yes, ma'am.
Jane General, 117 Warrenet, right next door.
You're right to the right of this. Okay.
I had heard that when the town was selling the school, the Gurney School, where my kids went, that was from grades 1 to 3. And then they had the van and the school little buses. They would take them to the convent school. And there were 4 classrooms. I can remember. Yes. And I know when they were selling it to the Welches, that they said that it was a school. So that was good. We'll keep it as a school. And at the time, Bruce Walk was the principal assessor, and he said to the select board that no, he said it's a change of use. It's a private business, not like it was the regular school. And so they let it get sold that way. So us, the letters never got notice about the sale or anything. And so we had no say in anything. And living right next door, it's, I was kind of upset because we used to have, the Gurney School was closed around 3 in the afternoon. And summers, they were closed. So we had nice and peace and quiet. And I could enjoy my deck in the back and the yard and everything. Peace and quiet. Well, when John bought it, it changed. But he never had as many cars out there as there are now. They're lined up everywhere. There's not enough room to park. I don't know how many it's required to have because they're parking in front of all the residents' houses, in front of the houses. John had paved over the sidewalk. I don't know if they got a permit because the town owned the sidewalks. And so everyone that can't find a parking place parks right where the sidewalks were. And the people from Grandin Park would walk their little kids over to the school and then have to walk on the street. Or John took down the fence that was on both sides of the parking, my side and light outside. And I said, he asked me, he said, "Did you know who put the fence up? Did you?" I said, "No, the town did when it was a school." And I said, "John was going to take it down." And I asked him why, and he said, "Because it's all rusty now. It was a chain link fence." And I said, "What are you replacing it with?" He said, "I haven't decided." Well, that was years ago, and he never did anything about it. And I was thinking, why should I have to pay all that money to put a fence up? Because everything I suggested, he argued with me about. And he could do anything he wanted. He put an above-ground pool where the cesspool was, right practically under my kitchen window. And you know it's supposed to be like 10 feet from property lines. And it wasn't, it's only a couple of feet. And of course the bathrooms used to be on that side. And I used to panic when I'd see that. And it was so loud, I couldn't keep my windows open because the screaming, the noise, everything. And now, it seems like there's more teachers or aides or whatever you want to call them, babysitters, because it's preschool and nursery school. They're smaller. And I worried about them in that above ground pool that might cave in. And then I saw, and I know they didn't have a permit because I called DPW, they were building a trench where the downspouts and the gutters were, and they were putting white crushed stone in it, heading down towards my property, and it would have flooded my basement, let's put it bluntly, every time it rained. And so I called the DPW, and they said they can't do that. And they didn't have a permit, and so he made them stop and fill it in. And it just seems like people from Brandon Park are cutting across my yard just to get, because they can't go on the sidewalk, just to get over to the school. And there's like 10 to 12 cars parked there all day long. And it doesn't give room for any of the other cars that are dropping their kids off and picking them up. And so the other day, there was like 4 cars lined up in front of when we had the storms and everything, lined up in front of my house. Even my driveway, when I was trying to shovel my steps, and the guy didn't care that he was blocking my driveway. And it just seems like, it's so noisy there now. In the summertime, I can't even open my windows. I mean, how many kids are people allowed to be in that building at one time?
Let me ask you to answer that question. How many children do you have, and how many, for that matter, how many teachers
Yeah, I counted the other day. I counted 50 kids out in the backyard at the same time.
Let's let him answer it.
And all these teachers are girls. They were talking to each other, and I'm saying, half of them weren't paying attention to the kids. They were running all around the place. Little one fell, and he got right up, but it was all wet ground. Mm-hmm. And they're sitting down and everything. And I don't know, it makes me nervous. I worry about other kids.
I totally understand it. They are loud.
I know.
During those hours.
There's another nursery school down the street,
mm-hmm.
closer to Bedford Street, and I can hear those kids. And it's like, I've lived there for 58 years in that house, and I've seen it deteriorating.
Well, I think we bought it from John last year.
I know.
Okay.
I know John and Sally.
As far as the fence goes,
Well, there is a fence along the property.
No.
Starts right
Not
next to
in
the
parking.
next to the
Not in
stone
front of
barn.
parking.
There's a chain link
Both
fence.
sides. He left the posts up,
okay.
so where the fence used to be.
Okay. It's actually on both sides,
It's
I
on
think.
both sides.
Yes.
But on her,
Why is it
excuse me, on her side, does the fence just run down to where you see iron fence by the seesaws and not run along the parking spaces?
It may, I know,
I believe so.
He
I know
put-
there's a fence
he
post up
replaced-
front, because I took
he
a
put-
kid's jacket off it
He
one day.
put that fence up. He put all the back black ones up. The chain link fences. He has, you have someone that's been doing the snow plowing.
Yep.
5 o'clock in the morning, waking me up in a blizzard. He is stupid to have someone with a snowblower when the snow was so deep and he was right under my windows. And he would leave it running while he went over to get his pickup truck to get a shovel or something.
Yeah. I really want to get back to the fence. So if there's no fence, yes,
There
Mr.
is
King?
no fence on either side from the street to the front of the building on both sides. I brought it up on Google Maps. Where all the parking is on both left and right side in front of that school there.
Yeah.
There is no fence
There's
from
no
the street to the existing fence there, and there's no fence to at least the front of the building that I can see.
So I think it'd be, just helpful to put a fence in. Now, once you get down close to the street, you can't have the fence because of the visibility from the parking lot. But if,
Well, there's a grass strip in front of 117 with a 4-foot concrete sidewalk. There's a stone bound right there. There's an old fence post that's there from the remains of a chain link fence.
right.
Right.
We're happy to put in a fence if
I-
that helps
I-
at all.
I-
Well, I couldn't see me spending the money when I shouldn't have.
No,
Just to be,
But John-
if you want to
John
fence
said he
there,
was
we'll
gonna
put a fence
replace
there.
it.
yeah, I think if you could put a fence with a vinyl screening, not just chain link, but with,
Well,
vinyl
I
on
have
it.
no privacy.
yeah. So that would,
A shrub just in front. But
so
Would
like,
you like
Rose
a
bush.
wood fence or a chain link with vinyl? We're happy to do it.
Yeah.
If it-
I think what we can do is we can just make a condition
Okay.
that there to be a fence to shield the daycare from 117. You can even have a discussion about whether you want it to be wood or vinyl or whatever, but I think the point is, particularly, it's basically from the back end of her house down to the street within the requirements of the bylaw for allowing there's some visibility issues, right, when you get a fence right down to the street, but.
well, in the summertime, I get all the fumes from the cars.
Yeah. Where's the driveway to your house? Is it on the right-hand side of your house or the left-hand side of your house?
The right side.
It's on the right side.
Okay, all right. All right, so that's one thing that can certainly be done.
In
And,
wintertime, because there's no fence or anything, John had a plow guy with a snow plow, a big one, because that's what you need in that parking lot. And they used to pile everything up, and most of it would go in my yard.
yeah, so let's have a fence there. Good fences make good neighbors, right?
But I was
Okay.
afraid to put one up too.
No,
because
well, it's on them to do it,
the
so.
cars will smash into it, because part of their trucks and everything are in my yard.
And I mean, what are the hours of your operation?
We open at 7:30.
Yeah.
7. They're dropping the kids off at 7. I hear
Seven.
them waking me
Yeah.
up.
And in the afternoon, and
5:30.
now,
7.
so since it's a daycare, are they,
Sometimes 5. Friday's usually 5, but 6 o'clock at night.
okay, I just wanted to establish that, a school opens and closes at a particular hour, but a daycare center, do the people drop them off and pick up the kids at different times?
All day.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
day.
what's the peak, especially in the afternoon,
Drop-off is between probably 7:45 and 8:30. in
And
the morning, and that's usually more compressed. In the afternoon, it's more. I would say it's more. It's not like a rush. It's more like constant,
like
over a couple
3
hours.
to 5
Yeah.
kind of thing. Okay. Because I will say I walked by there a week or two ago, mid-afternoon, I guess, and and I did. I don't think it was a peak pickup period, but it did occur to me, gee, this is not a great. Yeah, I mean, the property is what it is. It's not like you had a big property, you could have a big circular driveway for people to come in and out, but I can understand how it can be a problem for people, and probably people more today than in the past are indeed driving to it and picking up. They're not walking anymore.
Yeah.
People won't walk 100 feet anymore. So, and they're not. Do any kids come by bus in any way, or it's a
Very, very few.
okay,
Like a couple.
okay,
They pick up about three kids that go to the
Right.
town high school,
Right.
okay, yeah,
but 3 or 4.
okay.
It used to be 7.
And
I
it's,
know because I watch.
and again, for
I'm
the
retired,
record,
so I
this is
never saw any of this when I was working. I worked here for 20 years in the assessor's office.
Oh, okay.
this is just Monday to Friday, right? You don't have it.
Just Monday to Friday.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we can at least ask it. I mean, the building, the new building itself doesn't really affect you because that's next to the other property. Maybe it'll reduce some noise, but we can at least ask them to put up that length of fence there to help with
I
that.
appreciate that.
Okay,
Yeah, 100%.
okay. Anyone else? Yeah, and yes, and your name, please.
Dolores Sandstone, name of 34 Star Street, so it's right behind my house, okay?
Which, oh, Samsung, okay, I see it, yep.
So my question is, it's 27 feet high, you said? So is that gonna shadow my backyard?
It's shorter than the current building.
But it's closer to my house.
Right. So I don't know exactly.
Where's your house on?
Yeah, the house isn't shown on the
No,
plan.
but where,
The
where,
fence is in the backyard.
I know it's a fence, but is your house located on the Star Street?
Star Street.
Yeah, but it's on Star Street, but is it close to Star Street like 28 and 22 are?
It's
Yeah.
just
So you've got a long distance, a very long distance between the back of your house and the property line.
Right, but I'm asking, if I want to put a garden, is that gonna shadow my backyard? You know, if I want to put a garden back there someday, whatever, it's gonna be shadowed?
I
Yeah,
can't
no
imagine, maybe for an hour
Well-
of the day.
I think, first, if you turn that structure sideways, I think that's also going
The
to
peak will
reduce.
be running in the middle, so
Yeah,
chances are it's gonna reduce it.
yeah, I think that'll reduce the impact. And also, so their structure is, if you make sure she can see where it is in relation to her property, that it's sort of just the corner of your lot really affected.
Oh.
It's actually moving over 10 feet.
So we're going to
10
move
this
it.
way and 10 this way, so.
So it's 10 feet, that's what the setback requires, is that 10 feet?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I do want it at 10 feet.
Yeah.
Please.
that's what we said. We were not willing to reduce it, so that's going to be 10
But as
feet.
long as they maintain the 10 feet, as long as they don't exceed the maximum height, it pretty much meets the
Yeah.
intent of all
Yeah.
of our bylaws.
Yes. What's the height of the main building? Do you have any idea?
Pretty good size.
It's like it's probably, I would guess, around 40. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it'll be lower than that. Okay. And again, there's a chain link fence across the back of the school, the daycare center's property. Has that been adequate for, I don't know what kind of vegetation there is back there on the neighboring lots? But,
No, it's an open chain link fence.
okay, so that's okay.
Sometimes when it was all gravel, you see gravel through the fence sometimes.
Okay. All right.
I have
Yep.
another question.
Yep.
When they're draining the pool, are they allowed to drain it into the street and the sidewalks?
Oh, that's the building commissioner. Maybe I'll ask you, how do you maintain it?
We have a pool. company, they do it, so I don't know if they're not doing it
Yeah,
properly.
I have a complaint about that. With John, I had a complaint.
It's a long way to pump.
Because they had the hose and they were bringing it through the fence and putting it down near where my property was and along that way. And when he tied over the sidewalk and everything, it was higher than my sidewalk because cars used to park on the sidewalk. And the town was good enough to put one of those berms things up so they wouldn't go over onto the grass and the sidewalk and then my yard. And they still did it, no matter what I put out front. I find rocks in the road, I have boards out there right now. And they have the little kids when they're walking with them, walk on the boards. And that one fell, and I said, they better not sue me, you know?
No.
And, but trying to keep people off the sidewalk sank. And all the water from the pool used to go over the pavement and then come into my front yard with all the sidewalk. And in the wintertime, when it rains now, I have all ice there when it freezes. And there I am. I'm going to be 86 years old this year. And I'm up there shoveling. And your plow guy blocked the whole sidewalk there. And I said, I can't shovel that, it's over my head. And he should have left that so that, you know, I usually shovel it, but Carrie across the street from me, she comes over and shovels it for me.
Yeah. Mr. Sweeney?
It's just been one problem after another. I mean,
Mr. Sweeney, what do you do about snow removal when there's a major storm? Do you?
it used to.
Let me ask him to answer the question. Okay, ma'am.
We have a snow service, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but they're a contractor, they're insured, I know he uses a snow blower and a plow,
Because
depending on the storm.
does he? Because I'm just thinking where you're going to put the new structure. Is that an area that you've been using to push snow into?
No,
Okay.
Is he piling the snow or is he removing the snow?
he definitely doesn't remove. Whether
The lot's not very big. There's not a lot of space.
They have a big pile in my corner.
I think it gets. I struggle to answer your question because I don't do it, so I don't know exactly where he's been pushing it. I think up into the
You wouldn't know,
sides.
the last few years, we haven't had much snow until
Yeah.
this winter.
So it is something for you to just consider that if we're going to have, a major storm, you may need to actually remove the snow, like, some businesses have to, just because you need your parking spaces.
Right.
Well, you've got a couple of, that corner, that northwest corner, you've got two HP spaces, and to the right of those 2 HP spaces, you've got a pretty good area there to put snow, and then next to your dumpster, you've got quite a bit of area to put snow.
I think near the dumpsters where they've been
They
put.
put it in both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good place to put it for.
They put it under the tree in the front,
Yeah.
and they put it on my corner.
Yeah.
And
That's where it belongs.
this new guy, he's been very good
Good.
by not putting it, trying to keep it away from my property. But my friend, she did talk to her friend that he had one of those backhoe type things with a plow in the front and yeah. And so I guess she called and talked to somebody for Carrie. And she said, snow blower won't do it. She said it has to be a plow with all that snow. And I know he was having a tough time up there. I said, you can't do that. But, and then I guess one of the shutters from the window, one of the storms, it pulled it apart and it was, a projectile with the wind and everything. And I found the pieces in my yard.
Let's move it.
Yeah, I think Okay, I'm trying to focus on what,
Outside
first,
of
I think
the
this is,
public hearing.
I think this is very useful for the owner to be talking to the next door neighbor. And hopefully that conversation will continue now that you've kind of made each other's acquaintance, okay? I think that's part of the useful thing of a public hearing like this. But I want us to get back to what we can put on as conditions. I mean, I think we've already improved things by, maintaining the 10-foot setbacks, by turning the building sideways. We'll add that fence along the side of your house, separating from the parking lot, which I think will itself help in terms of plowing and so forth, because they're going to know they have a fence there of their own that they're not going to want to disturb. So I hope that'll help. So anything else? Okay. And just for the record, so is it Lytle's? Is that the name of the owner?
Lionel.
Lytle's. So they're not present.
He
So.
used to be our accountant,
Right.
and then he was.
I would have been curious what their concerns might be, but they're not here, so you don't know.
And for the record, they're notified
Okay.
butters.
All right. So anything further from you folks? Okay. Now that we're maintaining the 10-foot setbacks, all they need is site plan approval. Mr. Travis, anything?
I make a motion to
Oh,
approve
okay.
the site plan with the 10-foot setbacks, with the building to be relocated 90 degrees, and the building not to exceed 1,150 square feet, and the fencing be added as requested by the abutter.
Okay. So that fencing is,
Sorry?
Abutting 117.
yes, 117 to be as a screening for so opaque in some fashion to be leave it to be determined. I'll leave it with the building commission and all to be determined whether it's wood or vinyl. But point is that it be screen visibility from 117 into the parking lot from the house.
Mr. Travers, is it a requirement of your motion that the building be turned, or it's an option if they choose to?
It's an option, provided we maintain the 10-foot setbacks and the building not exceed 1,150. I think the building right now is like 1,148.
I think, I don't know if it's possible for you, but I think we need like 12 and change. So it's 28
That
by
explains
41
what
by
we were
9.
asking for, 28 by 41, right?
4 times 28.
All right, if that's coming from the architect. So if he had, I thought it was 1,200 and change, but if it's 11 and change, then it's
28 by 41 is 1,148, that's why I said 1,150.
All right, and I would want to add that the any requirements of the fire department to be met in terms of fire alarms and other safety provisions. Okay. I think that's it. Anything else as conditions? Okay. Is there so Mr. Travis made the motion, second by Mr. Keeman.
Do we have to deny? Because their actual petition was for variance for setback. Do we have
Well,
to
as long
deny
as
that?
we'll put in the decision that the 10-foot setbacks are to be maintained. I think that'll suffice. And that the walls of the building. Let me go over this. Certainly, the wall of the building facing the Lytle property, I would want to be without windows. But if you turn it sideways, I don't want to limit. I know you want at least two sides to be able to
We're happy with the two sides that
face the
face
abutters.
the butters can be
Okay.
closed off. That's
Okay.
Totally fine.
So let's do that. Okay, whichever two sides are facing the abutting properties are to be closed off. All right. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? So that's just for the record, Mr. Travis, Mr. Kimball, Mr. Keeman, Mr. Blas, and myself, John Coldwellson, 5-0 in favor. Okay? All right. Thank you for coming and for participating. Okay, we do have a couple of minutes to do, and one other, while I think of it, at the last meeting, we'll give them a minute to. We're going to continue some business of any conversation you can do outside, and likewise, Mr. Sweeney, you can. Thank you, Kyle.
Okay, thank you.
At the last meeting, we voted to recommend a zoning bylaw amendment to our provisions for site plan approval to require the wetland boundaries and the 1,500-foot buffer lines to be shown on the plan. Subsequently, after we voted that, Mr. Winnett informed me the Conservation Commission would rather we didn't do that because they're going to have provisions in their bylaw proposal. So when I went to the Board of Selectmen, I told them not to forward that amendment to the planning board, but the other two, the selectmen voted to forward to the planning board. Did it reach the planning board yet?
We got a meeting tomorrow night.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So you should have the one for the ADU bylaw and for the lengthening the duration of special permits.
And then the 40 that.
Yeah, which, I'll also mention, Mr. Kimball, do you know how many people are running for the plan? There are vacancies in the planning board.
There's 3 vacancies. One is an appointee, he's going to run. I'm not sure about the other 2.
Okay. So if anybody on the board wishes to run for the planning board,
Roberta Wayne.
Okay. Minutes. We have the minutes for 16 Washington Street, case number 1, which is the variances and the site plan approval. So that was myself, Dick Blas, Bob Keeman, Ed Winnett, and Bob Kimball were here for that one.
Question on the minutes?
Excuse me?
I'd like a revision on the minutes.
Oh, okay.
On page 2, board input,
Yep.
Timothy Travers confirmed that a sprinkler system would be required under Mass
Yeah.
General Laws, Chapter 148. It's Section 26I.
Okay. Chapter 148, Section 26I.
It's I as in India.
Yep.
And it says which was adopted by the town in 1991.
Yep.
I'd like to strike the rest. He noted.
Yep.
And not strike it, but cut and paste it under Mr. Kimball. Mr. Kimball made those remarks. I did not make those.
Okay, about it being a substantial cost.
Right.
Okay.
That should be cut and pasted.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll just, at the end of those 1991, instead of he, we'll just put Mr. Kimball.
Sure.
How's that? Okay. Thank you. Not always easy for Carol to listen to the tape and know who was speaking. That's a drawback to her not being able to be here. Anything else? All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
So,
Moved by Mr. Keeman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by, let's see. You didn't sit on that one, so let me.
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Kimball. All in favor? So that would be Mr. Winnett, Kimball, Keeman, Blas, and myself, John Goldrosen. And then we have the general minutes, which includes the discussion with the Pond Street representatives. So that's
Move to approve.
moved to approve by Mr. Blas. This one could be anybody.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Kimball. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, five in favor. I'll just say it'll be the Gold, Rosenblatt, Kimball, Gwinnett, and Travers on that one. Okay, we don't have any pending cases at the moment. My thought is, in my mind, possibly have a meeting April 27th, the last Monday of April. But wait and see, because if a case were to come in like 2 or 3 weeks from now and not in time for that meeting, I'd rather wait till May and we could have a meeting the second Monday in May. The first Monday would be town meeting, but probably schedule a meeting the second Monday in May. So I'd say one of those two at this point. Figure we'll have a meeting.
You'll let us know.
Excuse me?
You'll let us know.
Yes, yeah,
Things are
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah.
The calendar.
yeah. For some reason, nothing's come in, but anything
There was a gentleman
pending?
in today getting an application for an ADU, so
All right, so,
not
Carl
up.
said he has 3 ADUs on the board right now.
Yeah, I send them all. I mean, I just tell them all to go see Carl. So.
Yeah.
okay. All right. So we'll let you know when I know, but it wouldn't, certainly nothing before April 27th. All right?
Nothing on Jamie's though, huh?
Nothing happening in Jamesville?
No.
No?
And nothing on that property there on Tempest Street that we approved that.
They're going to be moving forward,
They are going to be moved.
but they just reapplied
Okay.
for. I shouldn't say reapplied. They just applied for the permanent, but all their information is still dated 2024. So I told them everything needs to be updated.
Yeah.
So that's the apartment building that is next to what's Hilltop and Sportsman Trail.
And I had initially thought that their permits had expired, but the state, as the state did back during pandemic when they extended all permits, they passed at the same time they passed some of the other laws. They put a 2-year extension on all special permits and variances and everything. So anything that we approved in 24 is still valid. And he took care of the issue with the vans that were parked in. Yeah. So, yes, Mr.
Just
Travis.
One thing before you adjourn, and that was the issue after the meeting we had about 66 Pond Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I did some research with the town clerk and with the public works, and apparently industrial way has never been accepted by the town. And I guess, unless I'm misinformed, that the next step is the planning board asking the town engineer to review the street to see if it is acceptable to the town.
Usually that happens when the developer
Yes.
wants to have it accepted and he petitions the.
So I think that the developer is long dead and buried. It was Mr. I can't remember his name. He owned the large brick building there. He lived in Weymouth. His name escapes me now. But I hate to see future development of that property be stymied because that street is not accepted.
Yeah.
And there's already some problems on that street where T&K Ceiling was blocking other people from access and they were charging them to plow the street. Public Works doesn't plow it. Yet we have drains down there, we have fire hydrants that are serviced by the town, but it's not accepted. And what would happen if we had these people that want to build those apartments and they say you can't use industrial way?
Yeah. Well, that was why when I brought up that night.
Take it by eminent domain.
Well, why I brought up that night that they really should be consulting a lawyer. That was what I had in mind, because the fact that it's a private way doesn't mean that they can't use it. They abut it. They probably have rights equal to the other abutters, but there might be something in the deed that says it could only be used for industrial purposes, or other abutters might say, 150 units is a lot more use than this was anticipated. And I'm, not making it, that's why you need a lawyer to look into those things.
Did you claim
So-
adverse possession?
No, I mean, as an abutter, they almost certainly have some right to use it, but maybe they may be limited in the type of use they could use. But that's a matter of the history of the property, the deeds, and that gets into court stuff. And when the street's public, that ceases to be an issue because anybody can use it. So, but as far as, the planning board taking the initiative, the problem with these things is usually the push to have a street accepted comes from the abutters, so they don't have to plow it, and they don't have to maintain it, and they don't have to repave it. And when it's a residential subdivision, that happens pretty quickly because the developer wants to be out from under it, and all the abutters are saying, we're paying taxes like everybody else.
Would
Our
something
street should be
like that
accepted.
would something like that continue on from, his name came back to me, it was Fred Leone owned that property and owned that building. Now, this woman that made the presentation to us a few weeks ago, now she owns it. So would she be the developer now?
It wasn't clear to me that she owns the street.
She owns the property.
She owns the property, but not.
And Mr. Leone was the owner of the property that developed the street.
But the street's different from. She owns the property, not the street, and usually, what abutters have, even when the town, usually when the town accepts the street, what the town accepts is an easement in the street. The town doesn't actually own the street. It just gets the right to maintain it, because sometimes you don't want what might be underneath the street, other than drains and so forth. So all the abutters own usually to the middle of the street is the way it works. But that has nothing to do with who has the right to use the street. So it's a complicated real estate question. But as far as the town taking the initiative, the problem is usually it's the developer who prepares the as-built plan showing where all the boundaries are and where all the utilities are and so forth. And
so absent
now I don't know, you'd have to go back, Bob, to Kimball, to the history of the
I don't know if that was.
subdivision. Well, it would have had to still be subdivided, a subdivision plan. And did the planning board put conditions on the development of the plan? Did the planning board hold a bond against the preparation of the as-built plan? I don't know, but that is something to look into, is the planning board's history of the property.
Did the town even have a planning board when that was built?
Yeah.
It did?
I think so.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Oh, I thought that building was old.
I mean, I don't know about that, because Crown Container used to be there.
They came in from Pond Street. They didn't come in, there was
We
no
went
investment.
because that was all woods.
Oh.
We used to,
Right.
when I was
So
a
they
firefighter,
very well
we had-
might not
we had a
have
lot of
any-
fires at Crown Container.
any
The only
deed
way in was Pond Street.
Okay.
And then it was further developed. But I share the frustration of the people that own the property now. And when I went to the Public Works, they said, oh yeah, they came in and
Yeah.
everybody's doing this. Did you check at town hall? Did you check with the building?
And again,
Did
we
you check
first.
with the town clerk? And I did all that.
Yeah.
And everybody's,
And we first talked to the owner and her representatives a couple of years ago, but it was when Lincoln Hyman was still town administrator. And, even then I was telling them they needed a lawyer to, they need a full team and not just to build, they need a lawyer. And I did suggest the name of somebody when talking to the representatives afterwards.
so just one final thing on it.
Yeah.
It's we have this piece of property that is blight.
Yeah.
And we have people that are interested in improving it. It'll be a great improvement for the community. And that all town departments and boards should be working in the same direction to get this squared away so that that doesn't remain blight for another millennia.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Yeah,
pontificating.
and I'll just stop it with as I mentioned to you, Tim, you say what the downside to the town accepting the street, that the upside is it clears up any problems with the title and usage and so forth. Downside is, what's the condition of the street and what could the town be on the hook for in terms of fixing up? And again, I think the planning board records would be helpful.
I'll check.
Was the street well constructed at the time? Were the drains and utilities, was that all done and inspected correctly and everything? That would be a good thing to know before moving ahead. Yeah. Okay. Anything further? All right. Then at 8:52, I will declare the meeting adjourned.
Sure.